My name is Rob Adams, and the business I founded is MindGear Labs, LLC. We started it in 2012. The impetus behind me starting MindGear was during the day I work as an engineer in the space program, and I do a lot of theoretical and computational work, and I kind of missed building things. I really got into the Fab Lab movement, and I was reading a lot about 3D printers and laser cutters and whatnot, and the things that were going on at MIT. And then in 2010, 2011, I did a year rotation up at Washington, D.C., and I had a chance to look at some of the Fab Labs that were up there. And I would just, Huntsville has to have one of these. So when my tour of duty was done and I came back down here, I started Fab Lab. So the latter end of 2011 was me doing a lot of research. I really wanted to open in the summer of 2012, but it takes longer than you think to locate a place and get it planned to build out, and getting all your funding lined up, so on and so forth. I started with just the MIT recommended equipment list for a Fab Lab. And then I spent a lot of my time building spreadsheets trying to figure out a business model that would work. Now, when we started MindGear, our primary focus was membership. The idea was that we were going to have all this cool equipment, and people were going to pay us a monthly membership fee, and they were going to come in and work on their own project. The other Fab Labs in the Fab Lab network are usually university or museum based, and so they have an external funding source, but I was trying to build a Fab Lab that would be a standalone business. At that point, after I had gotten the equipment list and just figured out what I needed to invest just to put the equipment together, I needed to start thinking about that business plan. And at that point I went to the SBA and started pulling down a lot of their spreadsheets and trying to build models that I could feed to a profit and loss statement and a cash flow statement. And I went to the WBCNA, the Women's Business Center in North Alabama, and had some chats with some folks there. And then in the process of all this, I was also applying for an SBA loan to go with the money that I was putting into the business myself. So our original launch was mid-November of 2012, and we had bought all of the equipment. We had a marketing campaign. We did some video, some TV ads. We did a lot of radio ads. We did some billboards, things like that, and with the hope that we were going to drive a lot of people, to our first day opening. I was either going to have 50 people standing out in the front door ready to buy memberships that first day, or I was going to have 2. I had 2. I figured at the time, to cover my expenses and to make a decent profit, I was going to need 100 members paying $75 a month for access to the equipment. And then there would be a little bit of extra money that people would spend on materials and whatnot. And I was really, in the beginning, going after the individual as opposed to corporate memberships and supporting businesses and things like that. What kept happening over and over and over again is I would have, I had hordes of people coming through, checking the place out, and everybody who came through would spend a half hour looking at the equipment, looking at everything, and say, "Oh, this is so cool. I need to go think of a project," and come back. They didn't come back. I never hit my 100 member market. I think we topped out at about 40, and that was marketing and pressing as hard as we could to bring people in. And so very quickly we had to consider some of the secondary markets that we had planned for in our business plan. Tia and I started thinking about getting more into the education market. And we had a lot of people come in when they were coming in saying, "Oh, this is so cool, you've got to do more stuff with kids." And at first I resisted because I wanted to stay focused on, my original model, but very quickly we were like, okay, we've got to try something else. That spring is when we started doing spring break camps, and they were pretty well attended. And then we launched into summer camps over the summer of 13 as well. And we pulled in a good number of kids that summer. I wanted to get into school systems, homeschools, and whatnot in the fall and spring as well. And so the 2013-2014 school year was a tough one for us. We kept trying to get people to come to us at the lab. Nowadays, most of my teachers are going to location and bringing things, and that limits a little bit of what we can do on the advanced manufacturing side. You know, we can't teach them how to use a laser cutter when the laser cutter is back at our lab, but we have so many other products at this point. Huntsville, in my opinion, is a unique opportunity and a unique challenge. I love Huntsville. I moved here in '96, and I can't imagine moving away. I feel like Huntsville is the smallest community that can support a MindGear. And the only reason that Huntsville can support this is because we have such a high concentration of technical people. And then as for the entrepreneurial community, I feel like I've gained a lot by integrating with Hot Coffee and some of the other, organizations. And I really feel that I could not have gotten off the ground if there hadn't been this renaissance that pretty much started up about the same time I started my business. And it was very fortuitous for me that I don't know what happened, but there's just a number of entrepreneurs that all kind of stood up at the same time and said, hey, let's start working together, let's start supporting one another. And I've gained so much in just advice and avoiding more problems and mistakes than I've already made. So the other thing that I would really like to hear from people about is, what does membership need to look like? What does it need to look like? What will get people in the door? What will get you in the door being part of this great community of builders and makers doing cosplay, doing inventions, doing things for the home and hearth and whatnot, making presents? How do we help build that community? Because that's what I started, and I still love the idea, and I still want to get back to that. Our website is www.mindgearlabs.com. We keep a lot of our offerings there. And then we are at Low Mill. Low Mill is open from 12 to 6 Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and 12 to 8 on Friday. And I always have a tech on duty there to answer questions and help people to achieve what they want to do.